The fact that this team actually worked is ridiculous. Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the newly released legacy variant of Greninja in the Open Master League. This Pokemon only gets to 3001 CP, as you can see on this team. And I was actually expecting that I'm most likely going to have to do a lot of battles in order to make a fun video for this Pokemon. Turns out, I literally destroyed the meta with this one. Of course, I kinda have to say as well that, for example, here as well, my Greninja didn't even got anything to do with this game. There were a lot of games where just my Xerneas plus my Lugia did a great job in order to destroy the opponent. That's for sure, especially Xerneas in the lead definitely was way better for me compared to Xerneas as a closer. So definitely I think the lead position for this Pokemon is just a little bit better. As you're gonna see a Wild Charge coming through here, we can shield this move up and we can realign now. As the opponent gonna go for another one, and we see the Zamazenta coming in. Very spicy from the opponent here with the move Ice Fang as well. We can go for a bait first, go for the close combat, and now yeah, the close combat was the bait. Now we're gonna go for the Moonblast and we're going to knock them out, which is very nice for us. As the Zacian is coming back in again, and we can even go for another close combat. And you see already, yes, it is not really the Greninja that really puts in the weight, but here we're gonna finally see this Pokemon doing some decent damage against the opponent's Yveltal here with the new Hydro Cannon, going to do a ton of damage, and just the fast move itself, it just looks so cool. Honestly, I'm so happy about Greninja, such a cool Pokemon. Not really nerfable, like they don't really need to nerf it at all. It's a very strong Pokemon, but a very cool Pokemon to use. And here we're going to be actually able to A, bait out the opponent's shield, but also B, can still go for the Hydro Cannon to get them insanely low enough that we can just farm them down with just one more Dragon Tail. Oh, actually, not going to even show them my final Pokemon here. And our Xerneas is going to be able to finish up this battle, not even needing the Lugia here. I had a great time playing this team. It just worked out so well. One Pokemon that I don't want to face though is going to be the Landorus. This Pokemon would be kind of funny to face as a Greninja, because you're going to have the Hydro Cannon there, of course, which would do super effective damage, but of course the opponent also is packed with the Super Power, which is going to do this double like super effective damage against us as well. Just would one-shot our Greninja for sure. But here we can still at least see the matchup against our Xerneas, which can take one charge move, but now the opponent going to make a great swap into the Dialga. This forces us to go still for the Moonblast, which they caught here, but we can still at least reach the close combat after overfarming by a little bit. This close combat is going to knock them out in time. They're not going to use a shield here, and we will find out now what they're going to go into. They're going to go back into their Landorus, as you're going to see. But I will be able to reach another charge move, hoping that they're going to think that this is a Moonblast and they have to shield, which they didn't, and now we're in a very bad spot right now. Lugia can take a charge move, can actually even take two Stone Edges. Stone Edge does around like 48% damage against me here, so I can take two just barely. And I will be able to now swap into my good friend Greninja, as you're going to see a Rayquaza coming in, and you cannot win them all. This is definitely a hard counter matchup for me right now. The Rayquaza is going to shield up my Night Slash. Sadly, I didn't get the boost. I didn't get a single time the boost, I think, here right now. I was just destroying people with Hydro Cannon usually anyway, but here there was not a lot that I can do anymore, as they're gonna be able to farm us all the way down. And the Lugia is gonna go down here now to the opponent's charge move as well. But this is okay, we're gonna take some losses as well, of course, as we can now move on into the next game. There were a lot of cool games though where Greninja really put in some work. Maybe this is going to be one of them. We're going to actually try something funny here. I'm gonna go ahead and go for 4 fast moves, wait a little bit, and then swap out. This forces basically the opponent to think, okay, they can go for a Precious Blade, but nope, they're actually going to hit my Lugia with this one, which is going to be amazing, as they're going to swap out now into the Dialga. I'm just gonna go straight for the Aeroblast. I don't really mind too much. Maybe we can get the boost, 12.5 chance, and yes, we're gonna get the boost with the Aeroblast. While we don't get boost with Night Slash, at least the Aeroblast is going to help us out quite a bit here, as we can now farm out the Dialga there, completely farming them down. In comes now the Togekiss. I can go for one charge move here right now. Togekiss is a very tough Pokemon to deal with, especially with my Greninja in the back. But we will be able to reach another Aeroblast here right now. Do they use 2 shields against me? Let's take a look at this one. They will do exactly that. And I can now go ahead and go into my Xerneas, which has already a Moonblast here right now. That's going to do a decent amount of damage, putting them into range as well for my Greninja, but also for a close combat from our Xerneas as well. But I don't really want to go for the debuffing move yet, as I can still reach the Moonblast in time. That's going to knock them out. And now it's only a Groudon, and we actually have some shield advantage here, which is very nice. And we get some damage onto them already as well, which is very nice. And they go for the Ice Punch, the Fire Punch, of course. Imagine like Ice Punch Groudon. And we will now predict that they're going to bait me here, which they do, and like this, the Hydro Cannon would have knocked them out, but the opponent does not allow me to just destroy them there, which is kind of sad. Like, honestly, why do you not just allow me to completely demolish your Groudon there with my Greninja? I don't know, but it's still going to be fine as we were able to win this game. In comes now a Togekiss. Not the Pokemon I want to face, but the Pokemon I have to face, I guess. As we will see the Ancient Power coming through, I can go for one Moonblast, and I'm going to still keep my Xerneas around, I think, as I will be able to swap out now into my Lugia, trying to go for a full farm down. This is an awkward scenario, of course. Like, the Togekiss is one of the worst Pokemon to face. I didn't really expect to see this Pokemon at all, and we face it all the time right now. But Aeroblast is still going to do a fairly decent job against the opponent's Giratina here, most likely, if they wouldn't shield. So we're at least 2 shields up. And I'm going to take advantage of that because I have still my Greninja. And Greninja is going to have a great time here as we even still get to a Sky Attack, which is fairly important, as now they're going to be in range for just a 1 Night Slash, most likely. Or are they? This is the thing with Greninja here right now. This Pokemon is kind of fun to play. I still shield up the Shadow Ball because it would still do some decent damage against me. But it's going to be also sometimes a little bit tricky to play, as Night Slash here, for example, going to do some decent damage. But in comes now the Excadrill, and you know already, Excadrill does not like water type damage that much, and we will find out that the opponent just gonna go down here. I would have had enough energy to go for any charge move here and knock out the opponent, so my opponent just forfeited against a Greninja in the Open Master League. Good game there. Let's take a look at the next opponent. I tried to do the same play, but this time around it didn't work out, but they're still going to run or like throw a Fire Punch at me, which I'm totally happy about, as they're going to swap out now into a Dialga. This is going to be okay, as he can still go for the Aeroblast against them, and this will do some decent damage if it connects, and it does not connect. They're going to use a shield here against me, which is a little bit tricky for us, but we can still go ahead and let this next move go through. It's going to be again now the opponent going for a charge move, which is really nice for me. They're gonna waste all their energy here. They didn't have to do this, and my Xerneas is going to be able to farm up to 2 close combats. They're not gonna like shield, like they're definitely going to go ahead and no shield this one. I'm going to predict the Groudon coming, oh, they actually, never mind, that was a different game. I'm going to now go for the Moonblast against the opponent's Lugia here, and I will be able to at least get some damage onto them, and maybe, just maybe, Greninja is going to have a great time here. Let's find out. We're going to be able to go for another Moonblast, going to get the shield from the opponent, and they're going to swap out into the Groudon after some lag. I'm going to allow them to go for the Fire Punch. I still survive, and I can swap out into Greninja. It is time, right? They're going to be able to go for the Hydro Cannon eventually. I'm going to use a shield against the opponent's move here, which is going to be the Fire Punch, sadly, but the Hydro Cannon is now coming through. We have 2 moves started right now. First one coming through, it just barely doesn't knock them out, but I can go for another fast move that is going to definitely knock them out. It's going to be another Fire Punch, which is really sad. They baited me twice, but I'm still going to have the super effective Night Slash waiting for the Lugia, as we can go ahead and go for another one here right now. Greninja is going to town, taking on all those legendary Pokemon, as we can catch a move, and it's not only a normal Sky Attack, it is an Aeroblast here right now, as the opponent going to go down from Greninja. Double kill with Greninja in the Master League. Goodbye there, see you later, Lugia. Let's take a look at the next opponent. Dialga and the lead, amazing lead force, exactly what do you want to face. The cool thing about Xerneas right now is, the only thing that I'm really looking for here is damage. I don't really want to knock them out, I just want to get damage on them. They shield? Okay, fine for me. I'm going to shield the next one then as well. And I can even overfarm here right now because I generate energy faster, as well as close combat needs less energy than, for example, an Iron Head here. So as you're going to see right now, the opponent going to shield this move again. Fine for me, I can reach another one in time. But now I can swap out afterwards and go into my Lugia, as the opponent is super low. You're going to be able to catch the Iron Head most likely. I don't think they go for a Draco here. And now the Dialga is basically out of the way. We see the Giratina swapping in here. Most likely could have even went up a little bit higher. I don't think it's just in Shadow Ball range yet. I think it's going to be in Shadow Ball range around right now. So we're going to let this move go through. And we can now go ahead and go into our Greninja. Let's find out what they're going to do here. I can try to go ahead and go for a Night Slash, as I'm going to try to knock them out with this one, but as you're going to see right now, the opponent can still go for a charge move. I'm going to let this move go through, and it does more than I expect with a Shadow Ball, and I expect the opponent to go ahead and go for another charge move here. I'm going to let this move go through. It's going to be just an Omnius Wind. I expect the Dialga coming in. This was a great predict by me, as I will be able to farm all the way down, and in comes now the Lugia. It's just a Greninja in the back here right now, and it's going to be a tough one, but I still can go for some Moonblast against the opponent's Lugia in order to do some damage and chip them a little bit, so maybe my Greninja can still win this game later on. I'm forced to use a shield here because my Greninja honestly has literally no health left, but I think we just barely put them into range for the Night Slash right now. And this is all it takes. I have to hope they don't swap out right now, and they do not. We can go for the knockout with the Greninja here, with the Night Slash, but they still have the Giratina, but one more fast move and all it takes, and Greninja is going to go to town again and gonna get a double kill again. Let's take a look at the next game, Giratina in the lead. This is going to be a little bit tricky, but let's find out if we can still deal with it. We will be able to go for a Moonblast here eventually, but actually Giratina wins this matchup sadly, which is just ridiculous to be fair. We have a Fairy type against the Dragon type Pokemon. It is wild. But yeah, they're going to charge up a little bit faster than I do, as well as Moonblast still is just a little bit clunky. But let's see, we're gonna use another shield here for the Omnius Wind, and they get the boost, and this is really bad. But luckily, I actually have one in time here, some debuff luck with my Moonblast, which is something that I rarely get. I can swap onto the Greninja, like allowing me actually to even get out the opponent's Dialga, and if we can boost here, maybe we have a chance. Oh, we don't get the boost yet, but actually, I did get the boost here. I forgot about this game, because I'm going to boost up right now, because it doesn't matter. This game literally just does not matter that they boosted here, but I'm going to be able to now let my Greninja go down. I can go to my Lugia, and I think I can just go for the Sky Attack maybe and knock them out before they even get to a Draco Meteor, which is really nice for me. As now we see the Melmetal coming in. I expected the opponent to swap out here, so I did basically wait a little bit before I would go for the close combat and just rather go for the Moonblast to knock out the opponent's Giratina. And this works out so well. Please don't have double Iron Bash. They have the Rock Slide, which is amazing for us because like this, we will be able to survive it. I can go for a close combat. I'm going to do a ton of damage against the opponent, and this is exactly the damage I needed in order to put them into range for my Lugia. We will see the Lugia coming in now, and we can just go straight for the Sky Attack as we can still survive at least one Rock Slide. I'm fairly certain I even survived 2 Rock Slides because they are non-stab. Lugia is a very bulky bird, and we will see right now the Rock Slide coming through, going to get knocked out by just the Dragon Tail damage, and this is going to be a very good game. Next opponent, Xerneas against the Landorus. Very good lead for us actually, and okay, not really a very good lead for us, a very neutral lead for us, something that I kinda don't want to face with my backline again, but it's a little bit tricky. I kinda need to keep my Xerneas alive just in case they have a Dialga in the back. So I'm forced to swap out here. This is a little bit of a weird one. I'm going to use a shield against the Stone Edge here right now, as I can still go for a Sky Attack. And let's see what the opponent going to do here. They're going to use another shield. I was so confused by this. I don't know why they did this, especially as they're gonna go ahead, go for the Stone Edge, and now they're going to go ahead and swap out into Dialga. They could have swapped out so much earlier already. I don't know why they used the shield on the Sky Attack, but I'm totally happy about this one, as they now going to be able to go for the Aero Blast, do some nice damage, but the opponent underestimates our Lugia here, I think, as he can still reach the Sky Attack in time and knock out the opponent's Dialga, and so I can realign. Or kinda. Landorus comes in, I'm kinda forced to keep. Maybe, can I go for a close combat here actually? Let's take a look at this. I think close combat is enough from this range. We will find out shortly. Close combat is coming through here at least. Let's see what they're going to have in the back, as I can swap out. It's going to be the Hexorus. I don't even want to swap out, and they're going to now forfeit the game, seeing that I still have my Fairy type Xerneas in the back, and I'm going to be able to win another game with this wild team here without even using my Greninja, to be fair. Next game, we're going to have here the Kyogre, and I'm getting lucky again. We're going to get another attack drop from Moonblast. Like, I've never been that lucky with Moonblast before. Honestly, I only get it against me, but it's really nice because I was able now to take this move, and the opponent's Dialga still is not really in a range where they can knock me out with an Iron Head, so they're forced to go ahead and maybe even shield this move up here, and they do shield this move up. But with that, they're going to put themselves also into a range where I can still go for a close combat to knock them out later on, but also I will be able to put them into Night Slash range for my Greninja, which is kind of funny, as we're gonna go ahead and do exactly this. We're gonna go into our Greninja, and I'm going to let this move go through, as I was able to catch an Iron Head here, which is such a nice play for me, as I can now use another shield. It's going to be a Thunder from the opponent's Dialga. I can go for another Night Slash. This game is still not over, not even close. I still most likely going to have a tough time here, depending on what they have in the back. Let's see what they're going to have. They're going to swap into a Togekiss, and I'm going to forfeit that. So many Togekiss. It's really sad to see because my team is pretty weak against Togekiss, but I played some Master League battles earlier already, and I never really faced the Togekiss, so I was like, it's most likely not really the biggest problem. But here, sadly, it seems to be the case, as we're now going to be able to go ahead and go for the shield against the opponent. Can go ahead and go for another charge move against the opponent as well with the Aero Blast. Going to try to get the farm down against them. Let's see what we can do here. We're going to be able to go for another Sky Attack against the opponent. This is going to go ahead and take them out. No, they're going to use a shield against it actually. And I'm going to let this move go through, as I can get some farm, maybe even with my with my Greninja here, which is kind of cool. Let's see what comes in. Let's see what they have in the back. Oh, it's going to be a Zekrom. This is really bad. My only play is to try to get some energy and hopefully farm, or like hopefully boost later on. As the opponent actually going to stay in here, allowing me to take this Wild Charge. They're going to swap out now into the Ho-Oh, but this is just a hard counter matchup. There is not a lot that I can do here. And yeah, my opponent is just going to have a great time here right now. There's actually something that I could have done, but like honestly, it doesn't matter because they still have the Zekrom in the back. There's nothing I can really do to win this game here. Still going to try my best, going to go for one extra fast move here. Gonna use my shield onto the Brave Bird, try to get the boost here with the Night Stash, as we have so much energy stored already. But they can just go ahead, use a shield, and knock me out with a Brave Bird here. So that's going to be it for this game, and we can move on into the final game of today's video. Let's take a look at this one here, as we're going to now encounter the Xerneas against Rayquaza. Amazing lead for me, as we're going to see now the Heatran coming in. This is exactly where we want to have our Greninja here, right? It's a little bit more tricky, because Greninja is so squishy, we're going to be a little bit in a difficult position here as well. We are forced to use a shield against the potential of Stone Edge, and I can still go ahead and go for one Hydro Cannon here right now. But honestly, my entire team is kinda decent now after my Greninja at least is gone against the Rayquaza, so I'm not even forced to really shield this move up. But what I can do here is, I can get so much energy with my Xerneas. Double resisted fast move of Geomancy. It's going to get so much energy, and it's really needed because we're going to have here the Solgaleo against us. As we can go ahead and go for 2 close combats. This is going to be nice. I can go for another fast move and now swap out into my Lugia, try to catch a move, but they're going to go on like for a move on their own already. With the Iron Head right now, they're gonna go into their Rayquaza again. I can reach these guy attack before they can reach any other charge move. And maybe they actually went to like one of the Go Fest and heavily Dragon Ascent on this Pokemon. Let's find out. They're going to go for the charge move here right now. I have to keep the shield for my Xerneas. It's going to be the Dragon Ascent. I can farm them down. 2 fast moves is really nice for me. I only thought I would get 1 off. But like this, I will be able to call the bait here. This is really risky, and it worked out super well, as I can now go for 2 close combats, and this is going to finish up this game. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Also, they're going to be now 2 videos on the screen for both Greninja and the Great and Ultra League, so check those videos out if you're interested in Greninja content, and I see you then. Bye bye.